And we're back for day 4. If you made it this far, give yourself a round of applause, pat on the back. Outstanding. I promise I won't do an air horn this entire podcast. So that's the one time we do an air horn, folks. Feel good about it. We are 4 hours away from being at your 100th hour. You should feel really good about it. I wanted to talk about what I noticed last night and waking up this morning going into day 4. This is when I started coughing up the stuff. You know what I'm talking about. All the phlegm, all that crud that's been stuck in my lungs is loosening up, and it's now getting pushed out of my lungs, which means my lungs are doing their job and purifying themselves. So I'm happy about that. I hope everything is going well with you guys. I hope you're maintaining your balance and you're not getting too frustrated with people around you. Remember to apologize to them. Even if you've already apologized to them like 10 times, you need to tell them, I'm sorry, be patient with me, I'm going to make it through this, and I'm going to come out stronger on the other side. But make sure you're at least saying sorry to them, especially if you're being snappy and a little bit rough around the edges and short-tempered. Try to find something constructive. Again, like I told you for day 3 and day 2, you're going to have a lot of extra time. Find something to do with that time. Because really, smoking cravings often become most powerful when you're getting stir crazy and you can't sit still. You don't know what to do with yourself, and it's because you're not doing something with your time. So I go back to the last time you can remember before you smoked. For many of us, that's your childhood, and think about some of the stuff you used to enjoy when you would go outside. For me, what I did when I quit, long term, the first time around, I went and played basketball at a park nearby. I hadn't done that in a long time. I just went and shot hoops by myself. Now, there's no fencing around the basketball court, so every time I airballed it, which happened more times than I'd like to admit, I had to go chasing after the ball, so it was extra exercise, but I felt good. I also put on podcasts, and I would do jogging around that same park and try to get caught up on interesting podcasts, and that would be how I would spend my time. And before I know it, after working out, I've never had really a cigarette craving after doing any kind of physical activity. So there you have it. Hopefully that same tool works for you guys. But we've made it to almost hour 100. We've only got 3 more days, and we'll make it a complete week not smoking or not having any nicotine. That's going to feel amazing, and it's going to get to the point where it's starting to get easier. I know you still might even be at the peak right now of your irritability. I really feel like the first 3 days is the worst, but hopefully it's starting to feather off a little bit and becoming a little bit easier of a load for you to carry and burden for you to carry. Be sure to let your friends know what you're doing so they can support and encourage you. It always helps to have other people cheering in your corner. But remember, you're doing this for you because you've never seen what the other side looks like. You don't know what it's like to go a full year without smoking. And once you do that, for that full year, even if you smoke again, even if you choose after that year to smoke for an additional 10 years, you'll at least know that it can be quit. It's something that you can get past and overcome. And it'll also be something that you did based on free will. Now you think you smoke because of free will, but if we're being very honest with ourselves here, those cravings and caving into the cravings and never quitting for a long-term stretch of time, that's not free will. That's not you choosing to do it. It's you being powerless to this particular vice. And there's packaging that just came on cigarettes. They were just forced, Big Tobacco was just forced to create this additional label in America that read and disclosed that they intentionally increased the potency of nicotine. It even discloses nicotine is hard to quit because it is altering your mind and your brain. They even engineered the paper of the cigarettes to optimize the potency of the nicotine to keep you addicted. It's basically, if you take it in any other terms, let's step outside of cigarettes for a second, okay? And let's just examine what's happened with the marketing of this particular product. And let's take cigarettes out of the equation for a second, and let's put something that society deems a little more sinister. Let's say the opioid crisis, okay? Already addicting, already killing people, already causing massive health problems, and it is an epidemic. Imagine if they started making it even more addictive to where it's near impossible to quit. And not only that, but they would start marketing it to children with cartoon characters, and you start getting a grasp of really what that industry has done with cigarettes. But now they're disclosing it. And I'm going to give you guys another fun fact. If you make it to day 5, which is tomorrow, you make it to day 5, I'm going to tell you about my friend's trip to Australia and what he learned about smoking when he went there. Again, I'm super proud of you guys. One last air horn. First 100 hours. Yeah, if you go to sleep right now, by the time you wake up, you'll have made it 100 hours without having any nicotine in your system. Your body is well on its way to pushing it out, and we're going to completely rid it of that. Thank you so much for tuning in along. I wish you luck on your journey, and we'll see you on the flip side tomorrow.